Tamas Toth has been a fixture on the elite triathlon circuit for over a decade, a Hungarian national champion and World Cup medalist, continuing a rich tradition of Hungarian triathlon. Tamas also holds a position on the World Triathlon Executive Board as one of two athlete representatives and is a fully paid up member of the Hungarian Defence Forces. So, welcome Tamas. Got plenty to talk through in the next half hour.
Hey, hi, thanks for the nice and well-detailed introduction. Hello everyone.
And how is 2021 going for you so far?
Well, I'm not complaining. I'm currently in Gran Canaria. The weather is like 20-ish degrees, not like Celsius, not like in Hungary at the moment where the big snow is just arrived. So we started the second training camp of ours this season. And well, I'm really motivated and can't wait to perform finally in 2021. So it's going really well.
Yeah, great. Is Gran Canaria, is that like somewhere you've been a few times off-season training or?
Yeah, well, we always swapping between the islands like Fuerteventura, Lanzarote, Gran Canaria. But honestly, I prefer this one. This is the best. This is the best from all. So I'm really happy that we choose this one for 2021.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like we can say I've been here like 10 times already. So yes, we know every corner.
All right, great. And who are you with at the moment there?
I can say the Hungarian Olympic team: Bence Bicák, Gábor Faldum, Ragmajer Zsanett, Kovács Zsófia, and two coaches.
So yeah, obviously very hungry to get back to it, and I'm sure very happy to be back training and with the team again and so on. Yeah, how are you feeling, you know, mentally and physically as we kind of tick into this new year?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think I decided the opposite of some of the athletes who made the decision in 2020 about giving on full gas and trying to find every possibility where they can show themselves and fight for not for Olympic points, but for appearance or just to test themselves. For me, it was a really good year to relax a little bit mentally. I wasn't forced into races after races, sometimes 2 or 3 back to back on weekends. Finally, I could take my time and really focus on myself, my family, my girlfriend, and taking the trainings how I want. And then really the biggest thing was this mental freedom, let's say, like this. Like I went out for a 3-hour ride or 4-hour ride, and I wasn't stressed if the average is not so high, and I was not so forced in really critical training and really hard training sessions. So I really rebooted myself and my brain, which I can really feel now already this winter, that I'm fresh and I'm ready and I'm hungry again, which feeling was really out from the scene in the past few years when you are just going
through the
and
grind.
traveling. Yes, exactly. So I'm really thankful for this, that no one close to me and in my family was really affected by the virus and the pandemic. So yeah, this is how my 2020 went, basically.
Because obviously, I mean, in a normal training regime, then in the middle of a normal season, every swim, every run, every bike you're doing, you're kind of presumably then peeling through the stats, right? You don't often get to do it just for the sake of doing it. Like you said, going out and just doing a 4-hour bike and maybe going a bit further than normally and not having to then just be like, right, what were my splits and so on. So yeah, like in the 10-year plus career you've had, you've never done that before, presumably.
No, I can't recall anything like this. So you know, this was it sounds strange, but it was a little gift before the Olympic qualification. I arrived ready and ready to qualify myself in Australia and New Zealand in early March. But then when we knew about the pandemic and the delay of the Tokyo Olympics, I immediately know this is what I need. This is what I need now for my future and to qualify for the games easily, or not say easily, but yeah, easier than it is.
So, and obviously you did race, you raced Mooloolaba at the start of the year. You raced Hamburg, the sort of de facto World Championships in August. Did a part of you then, having then taken the decision, or maybe beforehand taken the decision to not do the other World Cups and so on, did a part of you wish that you hadn't actually raced Hamburg and just had a completely clean break, or was Hamburg like an important decision to race?
Yeah, since we knew that the only race is going to be Hamburg, and so many athletes were eager to do it, and somehow I felt like I have to be there with them. You know, it's the only race in the season. Even if I'm not in the good shape, I knew it that I'm not in the best shape of my life. But somehow I felt like, okay, we are in this together, and you guys are coming, I'm coming, and this was a non-question for me, the Hamburg events.
It became more than a race then. It kind of,
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And so, and regarding Olympic qualification, then what are the specific targets that you need to achieve? How does that work out within the Hungarian setup? It's so different for every nation.
Yeah, well, they just made the decision last week that we have the first quota really easily by Bence Bicsak. He's our 10th of the qualification ranking, so that's for sure fixed. There was a discussion about the second slot, how we're gonna reach it and how we're gonna manage it. If we reach it, currently I'm the one who's sitting on one of the last places for the Olympic qualification. So I have to. We said for the second one is for the one who gonna achieve it. So now I only have to stabilize my position and fix the one of the last spots which is required to qualify, be in the 20 51 or something like this. I'm not sure exactly. And yeah, this is my job, to look around the people who's close to me and who can be dangerous for me, and always beat them on the races, and then it's gonna be fine. So it's not gonna be an easy job, I'm not saying, but I have a little bit more confidence in that, if I would be the one who have to catch the other guy, you know.
You've got your targets in your sight.
Yes, I really prefer this position. I was in the same shoes. I was in the same shoe in the qualification for Rio, and I was the one who just catched in the last minute for qualifying Rio. So now I'm sitting on a little bit different position, but still the same. So I'm not going to lose it from here.
So did it for Rio? It boiled down to the last qualification race, did it for you?
Something like that. Yes. I had a really good race in Cape Town. I finished 11th, and that gave me a so big push that after that it was almost sure. But we had to wait until the wild cards were taken out, and then that was the final decision. I couldn't say for sure until the invitational places were not sent out. But yeah.
There's all eyes on the calendar, right, coming up, and how that qualification calendar is going to look, and hopefully it'll go as everyone is expecting to. But
obviously we have a lot of work in that as well, trying to support as much as possible the sports department, and talking with them as always, like they are asking for our opinions on everything. And I can say that representing the athletes and all of the athletes interest always equally and fair for them, and this is the athlete safety is always the number one for us, and the fair and equal representation.
Yeah. So all right, well, let's talk about your position on the executive board then. You're one of two now athlete representatives as of the start of last year, when you were joined by Ayurveda. How did it come about becoming, getting that role and taking on that responsibility?
Well, I realized that so many athletes are talking about the same issues over time to time, and I started to look around. Okay, that we have the same problems, but how I can help to solve them. And I started to ask around. Okay, what's the way? How can I help? And then this is how I got into the athletes committee. And after 4 years, I became on the second of my second period. I became the chair for them as well, which is a really tough job on one hand, but this is the way how I can help and give back to the sport what I get from the sport already. And this is I cannot get closer to the fire, and this is how I should do, how I feel.
And there must be times that it's, a very difficult place to be between executive board of the organization, the athletes as a whole. And it's not obviously as if you can't take the athletes as one big homogenous group. All of them have wildly different ideas on the way things should be done as well, and different preferences to how things should be run. So yeah, you must find yourself pulled in a lot of different directions, literally, but also like within yourself, right? Like which path, which causes you feel you want to take up.
Yeah, exactly. It's especially, and one more thing which I would add to this confusion, or how I don't know how to say, inside you, when the pandemic arrived. I knew almost all of the updates which were on the table, and race cancellations coming up, but still I should have stay focused and think on the Olympic qualification. But on the other hand, I was waving to this ship that I still seen it's not going to happen. So this was as well, and then getting between all of the unhappy athletes and uncertainty, and on the executive board as well, trying to connect, trying to transform the information that they can handle, and not just starting gossips. It was a really difficult time for me as well, as a person and as an athlete. And yeah, it was there. I had a lot of times mixed feelings then. I was talking with Chris Gamble, and he said, man, you cannot make everyone happy. You should learn that. And I think this is really important lessons for me to learn, because I'm taking these kind of things, all of the issues, really seriously. And if I'm not successful, or I'm not able to achieve what I want, I really take it as a personal really personal matter. But I shouldn't have. But I think this is, as long as I feel like this, it means I'm doing it good.
Yeah, and it shows you care, and that's all people want.
And
right?
Obviously the main goal is all to represent the athletes always as fair as possible, and always communicating with my committee, and then trying to translate that into the board. And I think it's really successful, and I'm getting really good feedback that the athletes committee is doing really fine, and they are really rely on us and rely on our decisions. They are actually listening, and this is the number one priority for the board. Okay, but what the athletes say. So it's a really big, let's say, responsibility.
And it's obviously a huge part of the IOC's development as well, and what they see as the importance of more athlete involvement and having the athletes heard more. I would have thought doing it for a sport like triathlon, quite a young sport where it's always been very athlete centric and tried to be very fair and so on, it's probably, compared to some sports, probably quite a I wouldn't say easier necessarily, but I should imagine it's a very different role in different sports, right? But equally, do you think, have you learned things from other sports?
Well, I can say I'm really lucky, and I'm really thankful for the previous e-board members and Les McDonald and all of the staff, that we achieved a good governance like this. Because when I was in the athletes forum in Lausanne 2019, actually I realized, well, how good we are running the things, and the triathlon came up as a best practice in so many things, and I was the one who were able to give some advices to my fellow athlete representatives. So on one hand, it's an honor and a really good feeling. But on the other hand, we have to work for it still and maintain this really good position that we are in, and what the previous one achieved. So yeah, I can say that in confidence that we are the ones who are leading the governance in sport. So it's a little bit same like the field of play, that you need patience and hard work if you want to achieve something, you know. And if you're not doing that, you're not gonna achieve it. But if you are doing it and not giving up on something, this is the only way how we can achieve. And I'm not talking about just by myself. I'm talking about we can achieve things in the EB, and it was a really big learning procedure for me these 4 years already, and on governance as well, and on politics as well, and I have to realize that sometimes I'm not 100% agreeing with the persons, but I can understand their point of view. So there's a saying that every coin have two sides, and I've learned in the past years that every coin have 7 sides minimum. So yeah, it's really good to sit among these people and learn every time from them as well.
And also, I guess, getting to realize that in an organization like that, in an Olympic sport and so on, changes can't happen overnight, no matter how much agreement almost there is. You know, there's layers that these things have to go through. And I imagine, I don't know, it takes a while for athletes to appreciate that as well, that they can maybe see something and they feel that there's, a swell of opinion behind a change, but to actually put that through and to have it approved and go through the vote and everything, it does take a long time.
Yeah, this is what was the most painful for me. I can say that, you know, when you're doing something for yourself and in life and in sport, then you wait. You want immediately. You want, okay, I do this now. I see the time. I did my running session. I know what I wanted to achieve. Okay, I did it. But now these things are so much slower, and I have to accept that. And it was really hard for me to understand, and it was as well a learning procedure. Okay, we already talked about it, and it's still 2 months, nothing happened. Why is that? So and then getting into the details, and okay, I understand now. Okay, one more thing. Okay, and but I'm really happy and I'm confident that we're gonna reach so many things, and it's possible to reach so many things, but we just have to give enough time to it. And I'm sure the athlete's gonna be really satisfied in the results soon. So I'm really hoping that they're gonna see and they're gonna understand much better.
Yeah. And do people feel like, do you feel that your fellow athletes can, you know, do they come to you? Do they kind of confide in you, or does it usually come through the athletes committee?
Well, they find me as well.
Yeah.
A lot of times they find my fellow athletes representatives as well, and not just athletes, coaches are coming as well, because I have a really good relationship with so many coaches, and they feel more comfortable to talking to me than talking to the coaches committee representatives, or I don't know. But yeah, I think I already learned how to handle these complaints, and since I know much more about the sports governance and especially our federation, how things work, it's so much easier to explain. Because I was an athlete, I'm still an athlete, but before that I was, let's say, not just an athlete, but someone who's not seen behind the scenes that much. It's really hard to understand, and really hard to let's say the triathletes are egoist, because we are doing these sports, we are the number one, and everything else is coming third or maybe after, and it's hard to swallow the pill sometimes that we are not the most important in so many cases. Even if we are really important, and there are so many more athletes and they are same important, and what they have to say is really as well something that we have to talk about and represent. So yeah, it's a tough job.
Yeah. You say like the triathletes are, there's egos and so on, but from an outside looking at the field of play, looking at you guys, the sort of sense of camaraderie is definitely there. You all have a huge amount on the line. You're all wanting to win, but the sense of communal, camaraderie just really comes out. Do you think that's the case?
Well,
maybe not.
yeah, yeah, it's a good question, yeah.
I suppose you can't sort of talk in such generalizations either, can you? Like,
No, it's difficult.
But I suppose what I mean is it doesn't feel like a sport where there's huge egos kind of butting up against each other.
No, when we are on the field of play and around, that's different. I would say during our everyday lives, you can feel it so much more. That the training is the number one, and after that it comes anything else. My poor girlfriend can confirm that, and I'm sure so many of the fellow girlfriends can say that yeah, sometimes it's really tough, everything's after. But yeah, when you see us and we are in front of the camera and before the briefing, it's different. It's just a different mood. Then you already have another mask on. You have to find it always the right one, and I feel like right before the race it's a really honest, they are really honest moments, and people really care. How are you, and what did you do last 2 weeks, and it was a really long time we not see, and how it's going on. So it's still a really small family, so it's still a really close.
Pre-race, you are like mingling and mixing a lot more than maybe in a lot of sports you do, right? You're racking the bikes, you're checking in, and then you all have to line up, and you're stood next to the guy you're lining up with for like up to 10 minutes. So there's a lot of sort of hanging around. So you have to get on with people.
Yeah, and since there are so many multinational teams are around, these things are so much easier and so much. I don't know how it was in the previous years, but now maybe one guy was training with 7 different fellow athletes in 1 year, and another 7 in the next year. So the rotation is really big. And yeah, again, I don't want to repeat myself, but it's a really small family still.
Yeah. And then will you feel that much more pressure over the coming months as qualification becomes more, once those races are kind of set in stone, and what you've got to do? Will that feed into how you're feeling going into those races, or do you tend to are you able to kind of blank that out and just once you hit that start line, it's another race?
I was always the one who needed motivation before the big races or before to start any kind of work, and this kind of pressure I really enjoy. Yeah. When so many eyes on me, so many people, let's say, hoping I'm not gonna do it, or I'm not gonna be successful, and so many more people are hoping that I'm gonna do it. So I want to perform for both of them, the ones who 20 years said I'm not gonna achieve anything, and the ones who said, okay, you are the best. So many ways that you can find motivation in during these days. But yeah, I enjoy pressure.
And is that something that's been a constant throughout your career? Like every new season, you've kind of gone in with it with like a renewed vigor, or have there been peaks and troughs in terms of your motivation and how you're feeling? And you've got a lot going on. Member of the Hungarian army, like that's another thing that you presumably have to factor into your schedule very carefully.
Yeah. Well, we are lucky about, just a few words about the army. We are really lucky that they are not putting on us so big pressure as well. They want us to be successful in our sport. They want us to go on the trainings 100%, and like it's different in every nation. I know some of the nations have every week they have to go in once. Some of the nation have to go in every once or twice in a month. The Hungarian army is really, let's say, easy on us at the moment. That they say, okay, do your thing, be successful, and this is the best thing for us as well if you perform good. So that's a good thing. But not all of us is so lucky in the triathlon. I know the Italians, Austrians, Belgians, Germans, almost everywhere there's police, army, or you can find the military games is always like a World Cup for us.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And so is your kind of career long goal to, rejoin the army full time?
I wouldn't say so. That this is I think this is I want to connect it somehow with sport. Then I can imagine, and I have so many doors that I can open within the army as well, within the sports connected to army, that it would be a really rush to say I want 100% army staff or stay as a coach or do something exactly opposite. So I still don't want to commit to fix one thing in my life. I would rather open so many. I leave as many doors as open as possible. So maybe we'll be colleagues soon. Who knows?
Is that a kind of regular theme of what the athlete career pathway post retirement? Is that something that comes up a lot among athletes, and something that is obviously, like, I don't know what age or what stage of the career, presumably it's something that's never thought about, and then occasionally it creeps in, and then the latter days of your career, there's those moments where it kind of probably dominates your thinking a little bit, like, well, where am I going next? And for some people it's very easy, and for some people I presume it's really not. So and it's obviously, as an organization, world governing body, it's the responsibility of World Triathlon to an extent as well to keep those avenues open.
It's really important thing what you just said about the after career life, and here's big responsibility from the World Triathlon to offer some ways for athletes who wanted to stay in sport and connected to triathlon. So I would say I have a lot of things to do within my committee and within the World Triathlon as well to offer these kind of ways.
And presumably that a lot are wanting to stay within the sport, to give back to the sport that has sort of given them a lot. When you were young, where was your inspiration? What was your route into the sport? Was it someone who pointed you in the direction of triathlon and said that you could be good at this, or was it?
Well, I started as a competitive swimmer at the age of 4 already, so really fast. I jumped in. Yeah. So okay, I was not immediately competitive swimmer, but yeah, I was in one of the biggest club in Hungary.
Right.
And then after 7 years, I found out it's not going to be my sport. So table tennis come in. So I swept to table tennis for almost a year when I realized that this is not me. This table tennis is just not enough. My parents said as well that just before I swept from swimming to table tennis that it's not gonna work for you. But I always take a year. Yeah. And then I've heard from one of my friends that there's a triathlon that you swim, you ride the bike, and you go for running. And okay, I'm good on all of disciplines. And these times I was doing the most famous dirt jumping in a mountain bike, and we were building nice tracks and jumping everywhere, and we were breaking everything. So it was a big relief from my mom that we stopped this and swept to triathlon. and I was lucky or not lucky, but the results, good results, came really early. We were third in European champs immediately when when I was at my first Europeans, and it gave me the push that it was never a question that what should I do? Is it a good way for me, or this is the good direction? I was just going with the flow and still enjoying every moment, and I'm really thankful and grateful for it.
Yeah, great. Like what a confidence boost that you're on the right path if you're third in your first Euros.
Yeah, yes, it was, and from that, yeah, I was surrounded always with good people, good company, good coaches. Uh, yeah, and for this I'm really grateful, and this is why I'm trying to give back to sport as much as I got from it, and this is why I'm in this position at the athlete with the athletes committee, and I'm trying to help in my federation as well, as soon as I have a little bit more free time, and to give back this kind of life that I got.
And have you still got a good table tennis forehand?
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
definitely show you once, because my serve was really, really good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've got a secret one, which is like 10 out of 9.
I remember, like, as lockdown was biting, I guess sort of April last year, Tommy Zaferes was with Katie and the crew over there, bought a table tennis table to relieve the boredom of waiting to see what was going to happen, and it seemed like
Really?
like a
Okay.
good way. Like I can imagine it being a useful little backup if you're on a training camp, have a mini tournament going on as well.
I never. That's immediate injury. The triathletes cannot take it as a game. They're gonna do it seriously, and immediate injury.
Yeah, so as a junior, you found success, and there's been incredible kind of consistency over the 10 years. How and also you've been in the sport long enough now to presumably have seen quite significant changes in the way that it's the way the races are held, and the popularity kind of growing. And obviously Rio 2016 was a massive games for the sport, and for you.
Yeah. Well, from my point of view, triathlon is becoming a fashion, which is really good for us. And I would say 100 times this become a fashion than going to the festivals around my area. People I know, and yeah, Rio was a really big milestone in my career. Like, I was grinding for it, and I achieved it. But it was gone so fast. Like when you are on a good concert or somewhere and you enjoy, and it's 5 minutes later, and it's off. And it was as well the same with Rio. Then we finally were there, and we forgot to enjoy that where we are. We were so focused on the race and everything, and triathlon was one of the last days. So after the race was over, we had to fly almost immediately. It was closing ceremony and then over. So now I'm here for Tokyo, and this is what I'm gonna do in Tokyo. That I'm gonna really live in the moment and enjoy the games.
The schedule should be a bit more user friendly for you guys, huh?
Now, yes, much better.
Yeah. It's funny you saying actually about like the festival thing and the fashion. I was thinking, and obviously, like, sports tourism has become more of a thing, and in particular biking and triathlon as well. There's definitely, like, it's not long until there's going to be some sort of triathlon or multi-sport actual festival where come to this beautiful part of the world. We'll have bands, we'll have music, food, and a load of racing. And you the triathletes certainly know how to party quite well as well. So
but times changed a lot. That athletes now are so focused and so professional that they are flying from another race to another race, and they never really going out after not even for a joint dinner, how it was like 10-15 years ago, when after every World Cup there was a big party. You know, I still remember. I'm not so young, not so old, but I can still recall the big parties when this happened in Mexico, or I don't want to say any more words. But yeah, it's a little bit different. I'm not saying that was the good one and this is the bad one, because obviously our main focus is to perform 100%, but it's a little bit more professional and less taking the joy and
yeah. I bet you afforded yourself a bit of celebration in Tizzy in 2016, though, didn't you, with that podium?
Yes, yeah,
that must have been a great moment.
That was a really, yeah. That this is racing in TC is always for us it's really hard to describe, when all of the guys who you were training with when you were young, your parents, maybe your grandparents, they all only see you on a TV or on photos, but when you can race in front of them, that's really something different. And the Hungarian crowd as well, they don't know who you are, but they see you're Hungarian, so they are cheering for you so much that if someone were in TC, that they know it, they're not cheering only for Hungarians, but to be a Hungarian and to be on the podium there, this is something which warms my heart every time when I think back. Yeah. And yes, the after party as well is well known and we're really famous.
Yeah. Would that feature in your kind of top 3 race experiences so far, would you say?
Yeah, obviously TC is the best. I would say the second one is Cape Town, when I finished 11th during the last Olympic qualification period. That was a really, really good feeling and a good thing. And the third one is my first elite world champs, when I got the chance to race against those people who I was basically just watching on the TV. And now I'm looking on my right, I've seen Javier, and when I look on my left, I see the French guys, Frederic Belob, and the ones who I was racing, watching with, and watching the training camps, how they do. So that was a really lifting moment.
Was there anyone that you always like held on that pedestal, like the icon that you always felt like that was like the ultimate triathlete for you?
Yeah, it's funny because I had the great honor and chance to give an award to Brett Kalefeld last year in Lausanne, because he was my hero, kind of hero when I saw him. It was the first like short movie about his life, how he's doing, what is triathlon, and he often came to Hungary because he had a Hungarian friend who visited. And the one more thing which gives, I think, 1 point to Brett Kalefeld, that he's the only athlete who I saw with McDonald's sponsorship. So I think this was a big that was a big thing, that okay, this man is sponsored by McDonald's. Okay, this is something. Okay, how can I achieve that?
Well, I mean, it's been great to catch up with you. Thanks ever so much for your time. Really, really interesting to hear how it's all going. Get your insights from everything from the executive board to the Hungarian army was a treat. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Thank you. See you.